Hey guys, Kate Bihm here, family lawyer in Montgomery County, Texas. Remember, I'm a lawyer, not your lawyer. This is just for public information purposes. September 1st of 2025, the guidelines changed slightly because there is a cap on child support. I don't want to call it a cap. I'm going to call it a cap, but I don't want to call it a cap because that doesn't necessarily mean that you can never get more child support than these numbers. What it means is that if your spouse makes more than this amount of money, you have a different standard to prove your child's needs. So used to, the cap was $9,200, and it was that way for many years. And so there's a lot of people, especially in my relatively wealthy suburb, who receive max guidelines child support. So if you're out there today and your non-custodial parent is paying you $1,840 a month for your one child, or they're paying you $2,300 a month for your two children, do I have news for you? Because that number has gone up. If your co-parent is a high wage earner and they earn up to $11,700 per month, starting September 1st of 2025, the max guidelines child support has changed. So the max guidelines child support at this point is $2,340 for one child, $2,925 for two children, and $3,510 for three children. Could you possibly get more child support than that? Yes, but it's up to you to prove that your child has needs beyond that number. And there's some circumstances where that's possible. I've certainly been successful in proving it in court before. But I do want to be honest and say that based upon my professional experience, when we start to exceed those numbers, the court is going to be looking for evidence that we're dealing with a very high wage earner and that your child has, for an extended period of time, lived a specific type of lifestyle. And then experience tells me that the court will often order that the other parent pay for specific experiences for that child. So for example, I had a case once where the court ordered that dad pay X number of dollars annually towards the children's birthday party, or that the dad pay X number of dollars annually towards the children attending a summer camp that their entire family had attended for generations. Stuff like that. But it's also certainly possible for the court to order that a high wage earning parent pay a large amount of child support simply because that's what's in the best interest of the child. The court can also order below guidelines child support. I had a case once where that was an issue, where mom was an exceedingly high wage earner, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And I don't mean 200, I mean many hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And dad was earning right at a low six figures number. And under those circumstances, the court ordered that dad was permitted to pay below guidelines child support. But there again, the court held that dad also had to pay certain expenses for the children. And the court's finding was, which I thought was really interesting, that it was important for these children to see their father providing them with material support. And that was an important part of their relationship with their dad, was that they know that he was doing certain things for their benefit and that helped to foster a parent-child relationship between them. So there's a lot of different factors for the court to consider in setting child support. Just know that that net resources number and those percentages is kind of where we start, right? Now, one question I get all the time in consultations is, oh, well, my spouse wants to do 50-50 and he says he's not going to pay any child support. And the answer to that question is always, it depends, which is, let's face it, the lawyerly answer to every single question. It depends. Is it possible for a court to order that? Yes. Is it likely? That's another question altogether. And it depends very heavily upon your family circumstances. And that's something that any attorney is going to need to do a pretty thorough investigation of your family circumstances before telling you whether that's even a likelihood.